Welcome, US community. This afternoon, I was in a Zoom call with other block producers, and we got new information that a big number of EOS token holders were essentially compromised because they were lured by a phishing site to generate their keys um, on a site which was not to be trusted. This resulted in a few claims of people who essentially have a correct public key, but do not essentially have a correct private key. So essentially, the phishing sites have kept the private key and rendered a useless private key to the end user, which essentially means that when, as an EOS holder, token holder, you would, for example, vote or you would want to create an account, this wouldn't be possible because the private key would be wrong, and as such you cannot perform any action on the chain, and essentially your tokens are lost. Now, it is a very dangerous, or let's say very unfortunate position to be in. Now, what is fortunate is that the chain has still not reached 15%. And as such, we as block producers have the option and the possibility to essentially do something about this, as long as, for example, you still hold your Ethereum keys. We're still working on this problem. It's a big problem, but probably we can figure something out as block producers working together. So, EOS Amsterdam decided to build, essentially help in this process by giving token holders who are now in possession of a wrong private key, due to the fact that they were a victim of these phishing sites, to enter their details, so enter their public key and email address. So EOS Amsterdam can essentially help in the process of recovering the funds if that is possible. To do this, we adapted an offline key checker, and this works by essentially entering your private key in an offline tool. So let me show you how this tool works. So we navigate to the EOS Amsterdam GitHub page, and there is, let's say, this offline tool is called EOS Key Pair Check. And what you do right now, it's already explained in here, essentially how to use it. But you go to the green button here. Here you have clone or download. Then you go to download zip file. And when I click it, you download the zip file. You can double check essentially if it's the correct one. So now you do show in Finder. And once you do this, you get to the point that you can open this file in essentially your Explorer, or let's say your File Explorer, and then you double click the index.html function, and that will open the browser locally, and this will open a very simple page which has only one field to enter, and here you can enter a private key. And let me get one from the examples. So here we take a private key, we enter it, and at that point you just click this blue link, and this will generate, let's say, two keys. One is the same as your private key, and when it's correct, you should see the same public key which was used when you essentially bought your EOS against the Ethereum smart contract. And we can double check that here. So if you can see this, you can see it starts with 833 and ends with 1 PD, and we can see 833 and 1 PD. So for example, if you would have a wrong private key, so we would change this Z to a Y, and we run this function, you will see very clearly do not use, yeah, with another message from, listen, there is a problem, yeah, so please enter your details. So when, in case this happens, or when essentially the public key which returns would not resemble the public key you would have expected it to have, yeah, then you should double check, and if you're really sure that you entered this private key correctly, then you should open our form, and here we explain exactly what has been done, the key chair, you know, the EOS key pair check, and then you enter your name. So in my case, that's Boy Maas. Your email, boy@eosamsterdam.net, and then you enter the public key. The public key you have used, yeah, when you bought your EOS against the system contract. So that's here. Where is this from? Here. Well, and then when you submit it, that point you are done. And EOS Amsterdam will then keep you informed if there's any news, or there is a measure in place in which you can essentially get your funds back, or essentially probably you will be able to change your private keys before the 15% has been reached. Yeah. All right. Boy Maas from EOS Amsterdam signing off, hoping to be of value to the EOS community.